Alrighty-dighty, pre-algebra. We've got a relatively short lesson today. Today we're talking about... Oh, that's not a good pencil to use. Today we're talking about volume. Now, anytime we're talking about volume, obviously we're not talking about how loud we can go. We're talking about how much can be held, right? In my water bottle, how much water can I use? Well, that's a matter of volume. And volumes always deal with three different dimensions. And therefore, our units are cubed. So we're introducing kind of an expansion on what we've been doing with surface area so far. So let's get started. So we're talking about two different types, prisms and cylinders. Now remember, prisms have a base at the bottom that's the same as the base on top, and then cylinders are the same except the bases are circles. And no matter what, the volume is going to be the big base times the height, which is the area of the base. We're only going to have only one of these times the height of the object. Or another way to think about it, depending on the shape, right? If it's a volume of a rectangle or any type of parallelogram, rectangular prism rather, it'll be length times width times height. You guys have probably seen this before, like with this guy. So if I've got length here and width over here and height here, so this edge is my height, this is my length, and then this is my width. If I multiply all those together, we'll get my volume. So here we have an example. Find the volume of a rectangular prism that has a 5 foot by 9 foot base and a height of 2.5 feet. So again, our formula is big base times height or altitude. So our big base is going to be, as it says, a base of 5 by 9 feet. So this is our big base is 45 feet squared, right? Because I have length times width. So that's only 2 dimensions, but then I throw in my third dimension, 45 times 2.5 feet, right? That's the height. And I end up with a volume of 112.5 feet squared. So let's say this is this rectangular prism. That means inside I'm able to hold 112 cubic feet of stuff. Whether this holds 112 cubic feet of bubblegum or water or anything like that, it doesn't really matter. Okay, moving on. Here's a different example, but it's the same. It's another rectangular prism. And again, we could choose either side for rectangular prisms to be our base, right? Whether it's this side with the 3x6 or the side on the bottom, the 9x6, or even this length here. It doesn't really matter as long as we end up multiplying them all by each other, which if we do that, we end up with 162 centimeters cubed. Right, this is our volume. Pretty straightforward for rectangular prisms. You literally just multiply all of them, and there you go. Here's a third example. Now, this is a triangular prism, right? Almost like a tent. Well, our formula stays the same. It's area of the base times the height. Now, our base in this case is the triangle. So it's going to be 5 times 7 divided by 2, right? That's the area of a triangle. So 5 times 7 is 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. That would be meters squared. And we're going to multiply 17.5 times 8. Oh, yeah, so it should be 17.5 times 8. And as we multiply it, we end up with our volume equaling 140 meters cubed. This should be meters squared. Okay. Again, our base is the triangle. So first we need to find the area for the triangle, which is base times height, or length times width divided by 2, and then multiplying that by our height. And again, you might say, but that's not height, that's not tall. Again, it's a matter of perspective, because we could just take this tent and lay it on its flat side. So don't get too caught up in the vocabulary. Just to understand the process, finding the area of the base and then multiplying by the height. Okay, moving on. Now, our last example is a cylinder. So this is like my candle that I have over here, right? Right, if I wanted to figure out what could fit in this bad boy, and I knew it had a radius of 4 centimeters and a height of 7 centimeters. Well, again, I need to find the area of the circle, which for circles, it's pi r squared. Or in this case, 4 squared is 16. So 16 pi is the base. And then the volume would be 16 pi times 7. 7 times 16 is 112. Now, if I multiply 112 by 3.14, I'll get 600. I'll actually get, 351.86 cubic centimeters. Now, if you keep it at 112 pi, I'm totally okay with that. Okay. And that is all the notes that I have for you guys today. Pretty straightforward. Finding the area of the base, multiplying by the height. Hope that helps. And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Bye.